Hi, I'm Danielle, and today I'm going to show you how to make a turkey pot pie to use up our leftover Thanksgiving. Today you're going to use 1 pie crust, half a stick of butter, half a cup of chicken stock, half a cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of chopped rosemary and thyme, which is about 2 large sprigs of rosemary and 3 sprigs of thyme. 4 cups of leftover vegetables, 3 cups of leftover mashed potatoes, and 2 cups of leftover turkey with French fried onions to top it all off. The first thing you're going to do is preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Then we're going to roll out our pie crust very carefully. It tends to stick to everything. And place it into our pie pan so that the sides fit. Then, once we get it all laid out, we're going to take a fork and prick the bottom of it, that way it doesn't bubble up and ruin the crust. So you just want to poke a few holes in the bottom. After we do that, we're going to put it in the oven for about 12 minutes. And while that is baking, we're going to make our roux. To make our roux, you turn on your stove and you put it on about medium heat. And the first thing you're going to put in there is your butter. It's easier if you start butter off with it at room temperature because it melts a lot faster. But you want to be careful not to brown your butter, because that could make it taste weird. You just want to melt it. See, it's already pretty melty. And once that melts, we're going to put in our flour. Takes a little bit for the butter to melt. Another important tip is that when you go to bake your pie the second time, you want to make sure that you put tin foil or maybe one of these little fancy pie crust covers on it so that it doesn't overburn the outside of the crust. Now that our butter's kind of melted, we're going to add in our flour. You want to whisk it in there and cook it for a little bit just to make sure you get the flour taste out of it. Okay, once you do that, seems to be all mixed in there. We're going to add in our chicken stock, our rosemary and thyme, and our salt and pepper. You're going to mix that. For just a couple minutes until it gets all mixed in together. After it's mixed, you cook it for just another couple minutes just to make sure all the flavors have gone together, and then you take it off the heat. You turn off your oven. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to mix our ingredients together. First we'll take our vegetables. that our roux has been sitting for a little bit, we're going to mix our roux in here as well. You want to make sure all of it is coated with the roux. And be careful not to stir it too vigorously, because if you do, it'll plop out of the bowl everywhere and you don't want to miss any of the deliciousness. And then once this is done, we're going to wait for the pie crust to get done, and then we're going to put this into the pie crust. Be another couple minutes. Alright. So now that our pie crust is done, we're going to put our vegetables in it and make sure they're pretty even in there. Want to even them out. After that, we're going to coat it with our mashed potatoes. You can use whatever kind of mashed potatoes that you happen to have on Thanksgiving. These, I believe, are just traditional mashed potatoes, but I know some people make like garlic or cheddar mashed potatoes, and either one would work. So just coat it evenly. And once all of the vegetables are covered, we're going to top it with our onions. You just sprinkle it. You sprinkle however much you want on there. I know some people like a little. I personally like a lot of French fried onions. And then we put it back into the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes at 400 degrees, depending on how your oven goes. And your pie should turn out like this. We're going to very carefully take off our pie cover and see how it tastes. Look at all those layers.